UmmulKhair Bello Yunusa. I'm a graduate of English and Literary Studies from UmmulKhair University Zaria, and I seem to have a flair for writing. Rather, I love to write. Well, I can say I started writing when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I was still in junior secondary school. That was when I started writing, and what attracted me was the encouragement and motivation I got. Although looking back at what I used to write then, I really can't consider it poetry anymore. They are just a bunch of words coming in together. Well, for me, a poem can begin as a form, an idea, or as an image, but personally, a poem comes to me as an idea most times, but sometimes it comes as an image also. So it all depends. So a poem does not really matter. What matters is the emotions, the symbols you are able to create with just few words, because I have seen lengthy poems that I don't even know what they are talking about, and I have seen really short poems that actually move the emotions in you. Well, the basic theme upon which my poems are based on most times are social themes. I try not to dwell too much in fiction, because it's a beautiful world in fiction, but non-fiction will create more impact on people. So I try to talk about things about the society, domestic violence, the girl child. We're talking about the politics and things that actually matter, things that will move people to do something one way or the other. As a writer, I have really evolved over the years. I am better this year than I was last year, I was 2 years ago. So I have really evolved. I am better. I have learned a lot about poetry. It's not always about the rhythm and the rhyme, it's about the message you're able to create with your words. Well, my editing and writing process. Most times my sister actually does the editing for me. She goes through it at times once, and then she tells me about it, because like she always says, the best editor is someone who doesn't actually write, because they seem to know your flaws, they see the mistakes easily than you do. So she does the editing most times, and sometimes I just write it down, and maybe I try to incubate it. After a while, I go back to it and see what I can actually take from it or add to it to make it look better. Well, I saw the Poetry Prize Awards, I saw the advert. A friend sent it to a group chat, a book club group chat. So I saw it. I was like, okay, let me give it a trial and just apply and see what happens. So, and that was it. And the poem, it was one of the poems I wrote trying to do something different. The first time I actually tried to write a love poem. So I tried to make it look different, to diverse a little bit from the usual writing, that with the writing which I do. So that was it. What I was trying to put out in the poem also was it was a poem about a lover, actually just trying to profess her love. How she has this perfect lover that she feels there is no other way out for her than that lover. Is just her and her lover. So that's what the poem is all about. Yes, poetry has a purpose. It has, it's like they say that they say the pen is mightier than the sword. So poetry is actually mightier than so many arms. Writing generally has great power in it, because most times it propels people to do something. It might be negative, it might be positive, it might cause a change in that person. So when you put out good poetry, you're putting it out because you might not necessarily see it as having an impact on you being the writer. Probably someone reads it and gives a different interpretation. So good poetry actually has a very good significance generally. To be honest, I'm not a very good reader. I tend to start reading and then I drop it, or I just see a book and decide to just read the review. More like a shortcut reader most times. So the poems that actually move me most times are African poems. African poets, they move me most times. So those are the kind of poetry I like. And when you're talking about contemporary poetry, you have a lot of beautiful poets out there now that are doing great work. So yes, I I don't have a specific poem or poet that moves me. I just feel when I come across something good, I just tend to relate with it and it inspires me. Submitting my entry for the PPA was more or less like every other entry I've ever submitted. I submitted with the hope of not losing, but I was not expecting to actually win. So I was indifferent about it. I was just doing it. Okay, fine, it's a good idea. I would like to try it. So that's why I submitted the entry. And when I saw my name amongst the winners, wow, I was so happy. I was excited. It was more like the first entry that actually got recognized and appreciated. So it was something to me. It was actually a lot to me. If the advice I can give to someone is poetry doesn't call you, it doesn't force you, it just comes to you. So it's knowing, you should know your words, know how to put them together, write, try to put out something that is timeless, something you can still go back to 8 years later and still connect to the poem. Make it simple. We all know some poets like to be extreme, like to be difficult, but really you're not writing it for your own intelligence or what you know about poetry. You're writing it for the common man to be able to read, to relate to it and understand it. And anybody can write a poem, anybody can publish a poem. So that's just how I feel about poetry and writing poetry. Thank you.